Hello, tell me if you can relate to this, being pushed by life to the point where you're really asking yourself, what do I look for support? What gives me that sense, right? What supports me? And another question perhaps might come up, what am I moving toward? Who am I
Mm.
becoming? Hi, I'm Dr. Asatar Bear. I'm here with my co-teacher, Leah Schaefer. We do this live stream meditation class every week at this time. It's an introduction to heart rhythm meditation. We always focus on certain themes within that. And this week it's what supports you? What are you moving towards? Um,
Mm.
well, I'm very grateful to all my patrons for help making this show possible. If you'd like to support, check out the link in the description. Um, and I also just I'm very thankful to have Leah here with us. She's done a wonderful job in the since she joined the
Oh,
show, the
thank you.
program back in
Thank you.
June. And so I'm going to turn this over to her to talk about the first part of our theme.
Oh, great. Okay. Yeah. So welcome everyone. And I think about support a lot because I'm very much a people person and I'm a community person. And so um there's typically two main types of people, which is more autonomous people who kind of tend toward autonomy, and more kind of community oriented people who kind of uh, delegate and really work with other people in order to make sure everything is humming in their life. And I tend
That's
toward the
more in
community
the first
based.
one.
What's
I
that?
feel like I'm more in the first one.
Yeah. And I think that in our society in general, it's like autonomy, it's like we're all need to be a little bit of both, right? It's always about balance in general, but but autonomy is really kind of idealized in our culture. And I find that I feel that it's almost like overdone. It's like we're put in this situation where we have to work a lot of hours in a week, and then we kind of only have time after that for our single partner and or family, our immediate family. And other than that, it's like everything else is like, can I even fit anything else in? And it doesn't really give us this like ability to have real community. And
Hmm.
I've recently come to this place in myself where I feel that it takes a village, no matter how old you are, basically. um, and I've done a lot of like reading up on that, and it's very much a true thing that we really do need community, and we do need other people in our lives, and we do need that nourishment on a fundamental emotional level, of the other people in our lives. And so I just want to encourage everybody out there, like regardless of what you might be going through or experiencing in your life, that don't ever be afraid to reach out for support. So like maybe you're going through something major, and you are really struggling with it. Don't be afraid to reach out for support. Don't be afraid to like reach out to other people in your community, whatever role they might play for you. Um, or if you're feeling isolated, quite frankly, like, living alone is really common these days. And but you don't have to be alone even if you live alone. Like, you don't have to just like totally hoard in on yourself. It's not natural. So I just kind of want to start off by that. Also, Tar, you're muted, love. Um, I think you're saying you're like laughing, but you're muted. So we'll wait for, he probably needs to call on some community support right now in order to figure out how to unmute himself. So I'll just keep going until the dark. See, we need to mutually support each other in this show. That's how we get through it. And so, um, yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to start off that with that kind of messaging that, even though it's idealized in our culture, it's not necessarily healthy to be super autonomous. Like, you want to have a certain level of autonomy, but really calling on people that can nourish your heart is very important. Was there anything you wanted to say while you're muted? Yeah.
I forgot now, but I really resonate with what you're saying about how it's kind of like this social disorder that we have, right? Like, oh, we all
Yeah.
should just be happy isolating, you know? Um,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's been made a lot more pronounced too, just with COVID, right? The last year and a half, like we all
Mhm.
just in our household units, right? Whatever that is,
Yeah.
you
100%. Yeah.
know.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, and I really think like the whole thing about everybody working such exorbitant amount of hours all the time, it doesn't really allow for people to have community. And then it's like we're just like kind of in our own little world. Um, so it's not really necessarily set up that way. But yeah, and so but the cool thing I find about really getting to know your own heart is that you can feel everybody that's in your heart. So it's like, different people touch our lives at different points. And um, all of the people that have ever really, that you've ever loved or that you felt love from, that emotion, it totally intertwines into the muscles of, the fabric of our being. And so it's like everybody that you've ever loved or that loves you is really already inside your heart. And so we're going to experiment with that a little bit today with our meditation. um Esator, was there anything else you wanted to add to that before we meditate?
I mean, sure. I think we can be supported by so many things, and a lot of times
Hmm.
we're like wounded in the place that we expected to receive that. I mean, we're so
Hmm.
often wounded in our early lives, um, and that becomes part of like our whole relationship, like gestalt, um, and it affects the way that we relate to others, and um, like we're seeking something that we've never really had, that
Mm. Mm.
whether it's safety or like being nurtured in one's creativity or being
Mm.
seen for their potential, let's say, right, or who you could be, right. I mean, there's just
Mm.
so many
Mm.
forms, and we so often like you just get like a little piece of that, and like, oh,
Mhm.
like we need more of that, we want more of that. I mean, like
Yeah.
how much love are we drawn to? A lot, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
However
Well,
much we get, like we always take
it's
more.
really fundamental to our emotional and mental health. I mean, it's really fundamental
Totally.
to us. Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like what Azra Khan says, right? Like the one person loving you is not necessarily going to be enough, right? The heart wants an ocean of love from all around, and
Mm.
you know,
Mm.
that's our nature. So this is not like a some kind of dig on monogamous relationships or something like this, right? It's
No.
just like the idea that one person is going to fulfill that, you know. Um,
Mhm.
and I'm not talking about just romantic love here, right? I'm talking about
Yeah.
whatever gives you that support, whatever gives you that connection. um,
Mhm.
it's
Yeah,
an ener-
absolutely. Absolutely. Like because I talk about love very fluidly, but I forget that it's like typically used in the romantic sense. But
yeah,
yeah, but I'm very much talking about like anybody that opens your heart a little bit or makes you feel joy in a moment or makes you like resonates with some part of you that you're like, wow, I feel very connected to this moment, that really brings you home. And it can
yeah,
be just a fleeting moment. I actually this great story of this gentleman who I met while traveling through Sri Lanka years ago, and he's this violinist, this like beautiful man. He's this violinist. Like,
really
and
painting a scene
we
here. I love it.
it was amazing. But so we all went where there's like a group of us. We all went up this mountain and I guided a meditation there. And so his name is Nathan. He lives in Switzerland. He's a violinist in Switzerland. And so he had a really like amazing meditation experience by chance, and like and we just connected so deeply. And that was the only time we met each other, and we're still close friends. It was like just that one moment of like genuine connection, and we still connect with each other and we still talk to each other, even though there was like just one moment, while traveling. So it doesn't take much. It just takes something real. So,
Like with you and I mean, we worked together closely in the same small office for 5
yeah,
years,
there we
hated each
go.
other the
Okay.
entire
All
time.
right. So let's go meditate together. So as you're ready,
Sh
um, I'm going to just stretch for just a second because it's really important to honor your body, right? Your body is the thing that's actually supporting you right now in this moment in your meditation. So you really want to honor your body and do anything you need to do to get ready for your meditation. And then now, as you're ready, closing
Frozen
your
on
eyes.
my end. Can you hear
Am I
me?
frozen? Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know
Okay.
what
Just
that
let, yeah,
what's
just let me know if it cuts off. I'm in a new location, so I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay. So as you're ready, closing your eyes. And take some time to check in with yourself. So feel your body. And as you feel your body, it's helpful to start to deepen your breathing because your breath can guide you toward feeling more and experiencing more inside your body. So you almost follow your breath as you breathe and see how much of your internal life can you feel in this moment. Letting yourself ground a bit more into your own self. It's like such a weird thing to say because it's like, well, I'm always myself, right? But we have the tendency to put more energy toward our mind and less toward our body. And so as you start to meditate, what you really want to do is start to drop in this deep breathing. As you breathe, start to deepen your breathing, allow your diaphragm muscle to, the whole diaphragm muscle, to really start to open up and expand out as you inhale, moving down. And then as you exhale, a lot of your exhalation is organic, but you want to finish and complete your exhalation by contracting your abdomen in toward your spine and really trying to get the last itty bitty bit of air all the way out, as if it was reaching the furthest toward the influence you want to have on your life. Continuing to breathe this way and continuing as you breathe to drop deeper into the space of your own heart. Like, instead of the I consciousness being in your head, what if your I consciousness was your heart? What if your I consciousness was the center of yourself? And even try to feel if you're sitting in a monolithic posture. If you're sitting in a chair, then you want to feel your feet on the floor. And if not, you're feeling your sit bones on the floor. If you're laying down, your back on the floor, your back and your hips, all touching all the points that touch the ground, and really ground yourself down into your body, into your being. See, even this moment right now is a moment of connection, a moment of presence. And then as you continue to breathe deep, full breath in and complete breath out, begin to try to sense and feel your own heartbeat. So, your heartbeat is this inner drum. It's been with you from the beginning of your life, and it'll be with you till the end. And I want you to hone in on listening to your heart. So, you're still going to be breathing very deep, full breath. But try to turn all of your energy, all of your concentration and focus onto your actual heart inside of your body. Feeling the drum of your heartbeat. And if you're having trouble to feel your heartbeat, you can place your fingertips on your heart to try to feel your heartbeat on your fingertips. But you can also wrap one hand around a wrist and feel your pulse instead if you're having trouble to feel your heartbeat. I like to place one hand on my heart and the other hand on my wrist if I ever have trouble, which I don't anymore, but I did at first. So breathing here and really honing in on your heartbeat, really listening, focusing. For anybody that has trouble asking for support or some kind of shyness toward reaching out to other people, I think it's really important to first become aware of what it is that you actually wish for, what it is you actually want. What is it that you need? And so, without any expectation about getting an answer right in this moment, don't worry about when the answer is going to come. I want you to just very deeply listen to your own heart. What is it that you need? What is the nourishment that you need that would start to act like balm on a wound? You know, what is the nourishment that would truly feed you? And it's the question that we pose as you just deeply, openly listen to the depths of your being, to the center of your own self. What would truly feed you? What are you longing for? And what does that point to the need that you have in your center of your being, the depth of your being? And can you feel how your body starts to relax even just by being this present with your heart's wants, wishes, and needs? It's like just by acknowledging that there is a need, you can already start to relax into some form of support, even though currently it's from your own being. Taking that first step of awareness, of acknowledgement. What is it that would really truly feed you, my friend? Good. And then if your hands are getting tired, you can always rest them. We're going to go a little bit longer with this meditation, so go ahead and keep dropping into your heart, into the heart space, into your body. And again, having that keen ear to not only your physical heart, which is, it's all the same, it's all the same, but the physical heart, energetic heart, emotional heart, really listening, feeling it. And as you breathe in, you might need really deep breath for this next part. So deep breathing, full breathing in, full breathing out. I want you to try to feel all the hearts that are inside your heart, all the moments, the memories, the love, the support. It's truly overwhelming. Feeling all the hearts that live inside your heart through connection, through love. Your heart might start to feel as big as the ocean when you really feel how much love is inside of it. By remembering the connection and support of all the people who are connected to you. And that's why you need really deep breathing. Keep breathing. And just with your last few breaths for this meditation, I'm going to invite you to just breathe in and out of your heart the feeling of gratitude for all the hands that have helped you to this moment, the words, the attention, the support, the laughter. Just feeling deep gratitude and breathing that in and out of your heart, and therefore with all the hearts that are connected to yours. And maybe try to feel any sense of nourishment that you got from this moment of true acknowledgement of how much connection there already is in yourself and in your life. That food for the soul, how good and how sweet it is. And thank you so, so much for meditating. And as you're ready, move your body and open up your eyes.
Mm. Mm. Lovely meditation. Thank you, Leah.
Thank you.
Mm.
Mm.
What nourishes your heart? I mean, that's such a tender kind of question, isn't it? It's such a
Mm.
good one to ask. Um, and what are the wounds? What balm do they need? You know,
Yeah.
and it's like we come in and we get a piece of that love and support, right? I mean, we often get a piece, and then we get a bunch of other stuff with it. You know, and that doesn't feel very much like
Right.
love
Yeah.
and support. You know, so it's
Yeah.
like, how does our heart that wants like that ocean of love deal with, like, you know, getting like this, you know, like, okay, that's it's good, you know, it's got the some of it. We die without it. You know? We're
Well,
like,
and
where's
yeah,
that?
and our go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm just saying we want, you know, we need the infinite part of that, right? The infinite component of that.
Yeah.
Um, you know, and it can flow through. I think that's the miracle, you know?
Mm. Yeah. And I think, as far as I know, we're pretty much wired to like go the other direction, think about like the what I don't have. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
Or
know.
what went wrong. You know? What did I say? It's like that's where, the tendency happens in our mind. Um, but it
Totally.
but I find it really encouraging. It's like it's not that far, to like find like that true connection that's always inside. It's not
Yeah.
it's not very far away, you know what I mean?
It's so natural to be like, okay, you know, the the love that I've experienced in whatever form, to then say within your own heart, what would it be to discover the eternal component of that, the infinite
Mm,
side of that, you know?
mm,
it's like we want to go there anyway. We're longing for that. It's
Mm,
very hard to make sense of the part that we are without having a sense of the whole thing, you know?
mm,
And
mhm,
it's a miracle that we can have that.
mm.
We
Yeah,
can't have
yeah.
that and we need it.
In this moment earlier in the meditation, like by feeling more or less like my village inside my heart, it was just like, and it's such a nice way of going toward that expanded space of the infinite, of really seeing the variety of connection, the variety of lights that have guided the way or given us some sort of love or nourishment or even housing, whatever it might have been. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's really takes a shift to say, like, w- shift to appreciating what one has received rather than,
Mm,
looking at what one hasn't
mm,
received or hope to receive.
yeah.
Um, because we have expectations. It's a natural thing too. Um, but
Mm.
so it's like, well, let's not say we don't have them, but let's try to hold them loosely or something. So that
That's what I do every day.
right. Yeah, well, me too, of course. I've
Oh, I
never
don't
messed
know.
up before at that.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. Oh, mm.
My friend Leah here to remind me not to BS everyone.
Well, no, in variety is the spice of life. It's like we all need different forms of support and we all need we all interact with the world differently. And I think that's actually a really beautiful part about support is like every single person in the village, I don't care if they're your barista or whatever, like whoever they might be, they spark a unique reflection of who we are. Like nobody can like be a mirror the same way as like anybody else. Everybody is like a unique mirror inside of us. And so um yeah, just feeling that special, like every single person is not replaceable, like as far as like how they're going to create a response inside of you. Sometimes it's not so positive. Like, anyway, but yeah, but we all need different things. Like we interact with the world differently and we need different people. Like sometimes I need the strength of Asatar Bear, and sometimes I need the softness of my good friend, Ashley. Like so, it's like different, very different, types of personalities, and we need that variety. So
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
absolutely. Mm.
mm,
When I think about this theme, it's like, what do we receive? And a lot of it is tied into the past, what are the ways we got support or didn't get that, And
mm-hmm,
my teacher used to say, right, that the pull of the future is stronger than push of the past. And
mm-hmm,
so I like to also think about what are we moving towards and
mm-hmm,
what is that, there I, what is that vision? What is that longing? Um, you get support, but for what? Toward
mm-hmm.
what end? Um,
Yeah.
and maybe it's not something that you accomplish, but something that you become. Maybe you're the vision that you hold so deeply of yourself, right? Or that you wish you could be. Um,
Mm-hmm.
maybe
Yeah.
that's the thing. I mean, that's the ultimate sort of product that we that we have, right? Is just our own being,
Mm-hmm.
and what is
Mm-hmm.
that quality of being that you're longing to express, to embody, to become?
Yeah.
It's there on some level. It's like a seed, and it wants to
Mm-hmm.
grow and become this big tree. And um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I wanted to kind of bring that in, right? Because there is this side that's so important. What our um, that sense of being held and supported. Our hearts need that, right? Um, but our hearts are also like very powerful, right? And very, you know, work with desire, work with longing, you know. And we don't want to overlook that. We want to,
Mhm.
really experience that longing and connect it all, right? Um, what is that within us? What is the, what is the self that we're moving towards? Um,
Mm.
so
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I mean, I feel like you have, like, in the time that I've known you, that you've always kind of had that, you know?
It's weird because I'm not really a competitive person, but I'm such a forward driven person. Like, grow, let's grow more. Like, it's just like all I really care about. And but no, but it really does stem from like that feeling, like you were saying, of the fullest expression of self, you know. And I like to think of us as I like recently I was working with one of my private clients and I really like to think she like kind of brought this out of me where I was like, think of yourself as a tree of life.
Mm,
So what is your flower? What is your perfume? What is the fruit you want to bring? What do your leaves look like? You know,
mm,
um, in this aspect, and I think it's really helpful because it's like, you know, I mean, some of us are just wired to be driven forward, you know, toward our accomplishments. But some of us like get intimidated by our own dreams, right? Our own
yeah.
designs for ourselves. So if you think of yourself more as like this is an organic process of
Mm,
just becoming who you really are, and like sharing that with the world, you know, organically, just like a tree would.
yeah,
I find it helpful. Yeah. Yeah.
that's a nice metaphor. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I mean, there's so many beautiful ones from nature that convey that, that
Yeah.
sense of development and progression and becoming and just how dynamic that is, I mean,
Yeah.
maybe it's like water flowing in a river, right? I mean, like, that
Right.
might
Yeah.
be, the metaphor that draws you, or maybe it's that forest that, grows along the whole coastline, or I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
because the inner life is so rich. I mean, there's so many, like, whatever we say about it is just a metaphor, um, words can't convey, you know, what
Hmm.
what it is to develop and explore the inner life. And
Yeah.
it's and so this is one of the things, we look for in meditation, to give us that a structure or some tools to do that exploration, even like while we recognize everybody has their own, like everybody has their own,
Yeah.
you know maybe
Yeah.
there's a few features along the way that we have in common, like we know our hearts are all longing for something, like, I
Hmm.
mean, like, I felt that in myself enough to feel confident, like I feel that in other people, um,
Hmm.
you feel that same energy,
Yeah. Yeah. I've been thinking a lot about it. You reminded me that I've been thinking a lot about personal evolution. So that's pretty much what I'm trying to hone my work in on. And so you know, I think that most of us understand on some level that humanity has gone through evolution.
hmm
But I don't think we necessarily remember that it's continuing to evolve. It feels like it's going backwards often. Uh, but it very much is continuing to evolve. You know, we are a species
yeah,
that evolves, and but if you think about it on the micro level, you evolve. You evolve within yourself.
totally.
And I think it's a really important piece of it. It's like again with the uniqueness, like nobody can understand the world the same way as anyone else. We all have that unique perspective. And so, you know, again, like nourishing that and getting the support that you need to bring that out and experience it, become it, I think is really
Yeah,
vital. I think it's vital. Yeah.
it
Uh,
is. it is. We need that, and um, just making that connection. Like sometimes we are sort of taught like, oh, desires not spiritual, or you're
Right.
not supposed to want anything. You're not supposed to be um, attached to things, or
Mm.
rise above things and whatever. That seems more spiritual.
Mm.
Um,
Mhm.
so how do we get in that place of desire, but also it's about the inner life, right? I mean,
Mm.
we want to learn about ourselves and about our place in the cosmos, right? Like
Mm.
through tapping into these desires. And no, I'm not saying whether you should do them or not. Like usually, we have the desire for a reason, right? That is to move us towards something,
Mhm.
um, but there's also a place for like refining it and really feeling and tuning into what is it that you really desire, right? I mean, because life is full of choices too. You can't take every path. um, when we get into desire, like, I want so many things, and yeah, but what's the thing that's
Ice
really
cream.
calling? Yeah, I want ice cream, yeah. What is the driving desire? What's the desire that that is kind of organizing things, and you put things in around that,
Mm. Mm. Mm.
so I don't know, like, I think maybe what I'm saying makes sense, maybe not, like there's a place for like getting clear on desires and refining them too. um,
Yeah.
because something that is going in line with or neutral to a kind of major thing you want,
Yeah.
um, that's one thing. If it's going away from, well, maybe that's not a desire you want to follow. Like the
Right.
the the tree can't grow in all directions and
Mm.
survive. It has to grow in a certain pattern, right? So
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. Is it in line with your kind of more deeper burning desire, like your deeper, your like truer desire.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, so let's do a meditation and try
Mm.
to try and tune into this a
Great.
little bit, because you talked enough, clearly. Now that everyone fully understands everything that we're saying. We have a comment from Comrade Jerry who says, hello, everyone. Hello, Jerry. Welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Hi.
We always love for you guys to come and sit with us live. That's why we do it live.
Yeah.
And while you're here, drop us a comment. We'd love to see that. So now let's
Yeah.
take a upright posture, and let's try to feel yourself being in line, your head and your spine and your hips, and your weight resting on your sits bones, grounding you to the earth, while at the same time you feel that lifting energy from above, just lifting you as if by a string and at the very top of your head. When you get this down, there's a wonderful feeling of just being at a restful equilibrium. Doesn't feel like a strain to hold yourself in this position, although you might need to make an occasional adjustment. You can get out of line again, and so maybe you just come back into alignment. Might be very small adjustments. Now tune into your breathing. Do the steps that Leah helped us with earlier. Breathe in to your belly as you inhale. Allow your belly to expand, and then to keep expanding up into your ribs and all the way up into your collarbone. Let that expansion happen in your chest as well. And then as you exhale, you're going to breathe all the way out. Empty your lungs, contract your rib cage and your serratus and all of these fascia that hold together the torso. Contract your abdominal muscles and just breathe all the way out. Control the breath on the inhalation so that it doesn't rush all in at once. We want the breath to be smooth and even, but also big and powerful, using all of the muscles of the breathing mechanism, bringing it into your belly and then up into your chest. Breathing much more than you usually breathe, but also breathing more slowly, always seeking to make your breath rhythmic. Tune into your heartbeat. Place it on a rhythm with your breath. Same number of beats on the inhalation as the exhalation. So perhaps 8 beats in, 8 beats out. And if that rhythm is not for you, then maybe you choose a little bit shorter one, or maybe you choose a longer one. Don't have to choose that particular count, but we just want the breath to be even, the same length as the inhalation as the exhalation. We want it to be slow. And now focus the energy of your breath. That is where your focus goes, where your mind goes. And imagine that your breath, instead of coming in through your nose, that it comes into your heart and just energizes, revitalizes, and replenishes your heart. The air part of the breath, of course, will continue to go through your nose, but the energy part of the breath, the subtle energy, that goes wherever you pay attention to, wherever you direct your mind. So feel the energy that you are receiving from all around, from the entire universe. Feel that enter your heart as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, feel that breath moving forward and just tune in to what is it you're longing for? What is it you desire? Who am I becoming? Who am I longing to be? And you place those questions on your breath. Just think about those questions as you're breathing. And don't get hung up on the words. It's about the energy. Where is this energy moving? I feel this blast of energy coming straight forward from my heart. A heart that has been so filled and replenished on the inhalation by that just essence of life that is the breath. So full of that energy. You are taking in, after all, much more breath than you normally do, but you're doing it so much more slowly as well. Your body has time to absorb it. And the energy of the inhalation continues to build and build and build. It's another effect of making your breath slower. Just like a stone rolling down a hill will gather more speed and momentum, so it is with the breath. And as you focus on the exhalation, just consider, what am I rushing towards? What do I long for? What do I desire? Just feel the power of that longing. But keep the structure of your breath. Do not get swept away. Keep your center. That river of longing can flow through your heart and not sweep you away. It's a wonderful energy. We focus so much on the end point. When you feel longing, you're like, oh, I want the thing I'm longing for. I want that experience. I want that self that I am, right? I want that. It's kind of ultimately what we're longing for, right? To become who we're meant to be. I want that so badly. It's so difficult to wait. But the longing itself is very beautiful. That is part of this whole thing. Would you appreciate what you got were it not for that longing? Might you take it for granted, like we take for granted so many things? We're given so much, and so how much of it do we appreciate? What if we shifted our perspective on this longing, on the desire that springs from our heart, and said, this is life, wanting to live. This is not something that is bad or not spiritual or whatever. Life wants to endlessly develop and discover uh, its true nature. And the same with our hearts. We don't want to just experience life from our narrow perspective. We want to experience it all. Now, of course, we have limited time and space and resources and whatever, right? So we can't do it all, physically, right? But we can do it all energetically. That's the marvel here, right? We can connect to the infinite. And what better place to do that than through that longing that is running through our hearts? So if you're feeling that longing along with me, right, consider that as an endless river that flows forever toward infinity. Because, if you've felt desire before, right, it has a certain kind of energy to it, right? What is that energy if you take it to its infinite, perfect, unlimited conclusion? Is that, right? If it becomes infinite and eternal, it becomes less focused on a particular thing, right? Like, we're quite focused on the end point, like I want this, right? But the energy itself, right? The energy itself can take us to the infinite because that's what it is. That's what energy is, right? Energy is infinite. We're having a personal experience of the unlimited. So all we do here is just adjust our perspective. The energy, notice that the energy flowing through your heart. You could look at it that way, right? It's some energy flowing through your heart. What if you shift your perspective on that? What if you keep your breath going and try to just feel and appreciate and explore and dive deeply into the longing that's in your heart? Dive into it so much. Drink it in that you feel like you are that longing. You're the longing. That's you. That's your nature. And notice that you've always been and you always will be. That's that energy, right? That energy has always been. And energy will always be. Dive into that and you dive into eternity. An infinite stream of love. Now, it would be too limited to say that you're drinking that in. You are that. You know, you are that now. Feel your nature. Feel the love that has always been and will always be. Feel it in your body. Feel it in your heart. Feel that nourishing your spirit. And when you're ready, come back to the space you're in the present moment and move your body.
Mm.
Hmm.
Mm. So
It
tears
feels.
are totally normal in our meditation.
Wait, what did you say?
I said tears are totally normal in heart rhythm meditation.
Tears are normal. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true. Um,
yeah, especially when we dive deep like that,
yeah,
when we start really going into those spaces. Um, yeah, I think that's part of the power of the heart, and it's also part of the reason that we don't really understand how to approach the grandiosity of our emotion,
yeah,
the the extraordinary energy of our own center of ourself, of our own heart.
yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, I see. I have a
Yeah.
note here from Gray Fox who says, "Hi, Dr. Bear. Good to see you back and hope you're doing well." Yes, nice to see you, my friend. Thank you for joining us here. we've, uh, we've kind of come to the end of our class tonight, and thank you all
Mm,
so much for joining us and sharing this vibe and helping us to create it because we do
yeah.
this together. It's
Yeah.
harder to do alone. We can,
Yeah.
you know, no matter where we are.
Yeah. We're not like, we're not like go in a cave and renounce the world, like it's more about connection and really being in the world, so that you can make an impact, that you can express your fullest sense of self. So keep going, ask for the support that you need. Asatar and I are here for you. So you just let us know what you need, and we'll be happy to either fail epically or give you something.
Exactly. Well said, Leah.
Yeah.
And of course, we're here each week, so I hope to see you all again. And
Mhm.
till then, keep meditating and namaste.
Mhm. Thank you.